Hello. So it's about a year since I recorded last, and I just watched the video that I did in September and realized that of all the things that I could be doing right now, posting these videos is one of those things. So it is a Friday, and I have since gotten married. Morning, gorgeous. His cup says, "Hello, handsome." And yeah, so I was just talking with one of my besties, and the capital of America was stormed on Wednesday. There's something going on with Trump. I don't actually know. We are now living in COVID world where you have to wear a mask. And at my work in particular, you have to wear a shield above your mask. So it feels to me like Sharia law, which was my big terrifying moment in 2019. Which was also when I went home to my parents' house when Jeffrey Epstein was being taken down a notch, and then he died in prison. And then all of a sudden, to cover up for all of that shit, it seems that the globalists have allowed COVID to be the pandemic of the world. I am furious because at work, I've heard about the fact that COVID positive patients are working in the hospitals. The provinces are currently set to put the province in a curfew, which is infuriating, because if this has to do with positive cases and the hospitals have COVID positive infectious persons working under the guise that their PPE is going to protect them, and hospital staff recognize that this is just the case because winter means colds means people have them, and when people have them in a pandemic, if you protect yourselves, things should go fine. I'm working in a place that has such stringent controls that we are one of the few retirement homes that has not had an outbreak turn into the entire place being shut down. I don't think we're privately run because I'm working for the city. And that means that our public health demands are immediate. And in saying and doing those things, we have, this is the public health level, and then this is our level to make sure that we're not misbehaving or missing any of those, like not missing a beat. And my mind is spinning a little bit, but I just super annoyed that why would we have such stringent rules when ministers of finance, ministers that are involved in the creation of the rules surrounding this global pandemic, they're traveling. They are not even taking their own advice. So it is a head-scratching moment. I've explained to my friend, this proves that we are in the Roman decline, and the imperial empire is in decline. So this is all the sci-fi movies, Star Wars. There's a lot of yelling next door. I might have to go knock on their door because all I'm hearing is yelling apart. Anyway, because it's like almost 10 after 11. With all of those things in place, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, public health. I've completely lost, I've gapped out. Those people distracted me. Well, this is my first broadcast of 2021. I am still uncertain as to whether I am posting the old vlogs, if I am editing them first, or if I'm just going forward. But this appears to be my very first podcast broadcast, which I didn't expect anyone to pay attention to because I did zero advertising. I've just talked to friends saying that this was going to happen. This is the first day I've had a chance to record. So I have about 5 to 7 other videos where I was practicing on what it would be like to listen to myself. And that was back in September 2019. And I actually listened to one of the episodes tonight and just thought, why am I not talking? Not because, I hold myself to a standard of being a voice, but I do understand and recognize that there aren't a lot of people feeling comfortable with speaking plainly. And I consider myself as a plain speaker simply because I'm not censoring what I'm talking about. I did not make notes tonight, but this is sort of an introductory video to say, ta-da! So just to point out, this is Led Zeppelin behind me, but we also listen to the Beatles. This guitar is signed by Janet Jackson. I can make a close-up of it at some point, but not right this minute. This is an acoustic, and I just love the fact that my friend Ariel was able to suggest and help me buy these from Long & McQuaid and then install them. Very amazing options, because then when it comes to wanting to play, that's right there instead of under the bed and trying to pull it out from under the bed. It's about making things accessible, right? Like we make things accessible for people who have physical hindrances, so why not the quote-unquote emotional hindrances of just having something right in your face? This plant is no longer. I have plants on the windowsill over there, but these are glasses, and this beautiful painting is by a lady locally who we saw her work at a venue for a wedding, and when I contacted her, she was able to make the print this size, and then we have a local art shop who was able to get me a frame. Now, because we're renting a 400-ish square foot apartment, that means we have very little space or things to call our own. And so this is sitting atop a blue table that a girlfriend of mine gave us from her apartment when clear cutting. So there are some things stored in there. This wonderful piece of equipment saves our bacon when the rules of 2020's December outlawing air conditioner units in your windows because a 4-year-old child died, I guess in 2018 or 2019, and they said, that's it, all of them are going. And so, yeah, this guy saves our bacon. We plug it into the bathroom window, and thanks to some wonderful women in our neighborhood over Facebook, I mentioned that I need some styrofoam. They had a stove or a dishwasher that had just been delivered that day, so I was able to get the styrofoam. It was a real relationship thing, because he didn't believe that people would do something like that. These are photos of friends, just random photos with some really good friends of ours. These are family photos. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to point reverse. These are some family photos. I particularly love the one in the middle here because it's our feet, our socked feet, my dad and I, drinking Moosehead in the fire pit. So this was a few years ago. Then there's just various photos of my nephews and family members. And then this is, how do I get there? This is the box of us, I guess. The lighting in here is atrocious, but there are my guest shoes and our fishing tackle and some children's items from John, namely ducks. I am terrible at pointing right now. So yeah, I'm showing you around our apartment, and then there is the record player. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to spatially. Record player and records for, yeah, just the records we have in our apartment. As you can see, it's up on a super high shelf by the door, which means we don't use it super often. And then this is the calendar board that we're trying to do in our kitchen. And then bedroom is this way. The bathroom. Anyway, wonderful tour. Boring, I'm sure, for some. Yeah, so shits, giggles, and shenanigans. That's in reference to the fact that sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's not. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be intense because shits are intense, giggles are usually intense, shenanigans, mischief, intensity. And I, see everything as on a spectrum, including autism, depression, happiness, joy, love, all sorts of things. Everything I see is a gradient. I am an artistic person. I don't have a lot of skills artistically, but I am definitely out there when it comes to thinking. So I would consider myself a bohemian chic, as my cousin has called me, but definitely more open-minded and open-hearted than most. And I tend to trust a lot in spite of life experiences. But I would like to point out this beautiful hat that I'm wearing is from my work. One of the girls that I work with, it's contraband, but these are pearls. And they are beautifully attached by like little, oh, which side is it? Just these beautiful little, like almost a nail, just a lovely little implant to the material. And it's got this little bauble. It's gray, which I love. I don't wear hats like this ever. I've never had a toque. And for some reason, this keeps me warm. So it's like the opposite of slippers. It's just the top of my head. So then my feet don't overheat. And I mean, I have a pair of slippers that I have that I adore and actually had mailed back to me because I left them at a hotel a couple years ago. Anyway, rambling. The podcast is just going to be me and my friends. Hopefully it will be smooth. Like I can get something on like a Zoom call and then upload it. But I need to kind of just start talking on a regular basis because things are happening in my life that are quite fantastic and fun and just showcasing that good things happen. And you can make habits and set yourself up for things that are going to work out for you in spite of garbage that's all over. Because at the end of the day, we live in the end of the world. And what's worse than, all the movies being right? So we get to make choices and we get to make advancements emotionally compared to the people that have come before us. And it starts with just, a little piece here, a little piece there. And the variety of the friends that I have showcase different ways that comes about. Yeah. We're in our 40s. So Sex and the City, the show, straight up, we're living it. So, yeah, 13:50. That's the seconds and minutes that we're at. I will show you one thing that I've been working on because, I have a million things on the go, but I also want to say, it's not just all in the works. Things happen while you're going, and while you're going means that you're in the midst of things. So this is called the Good Husband Award. It might be backwards for you. But essentially, it's all the things that are ways and means for him to show me that he loves me. And the reason it came about is because of something that I was drawing. And it was just like the idea of Mexico, but I was using multiple colors. So the blue, the pink, and the green. And then I was playing with lettering, so I did the Mexican around it. and then coloring it in. And it was just seeing, this is what it's like. Like, usually there's a lot more red as opposed to yellow, but the yellow is almost like a background for all these colors. And just writing some stuff, and then I drew my very first sugar skull. I can't draw. I'm just, and it was the essence of, in death, we lay down our burdens. And with laying down our burdens, there was a quote: if you are constantly living in fear, you won't let the light in. And then, this is probably the most important thing for my marriage: you do not owe me. And that's forgiveness.